And we're back. It's been about a month, so we're back.
Yeah, it's been a long break. A lot going on here. Trips, home, work, life,
You had a good
everything.
trip. You caught a lot of tuna.
We had a really good trip taking the veterans out, and we caught a lot. I haven't even got to finish processing all of it the proper way.
Wow. Just because you have so much, or just the time?
Just so much of it that I had to order more bags for my sealer. So usually what I do is I'll go in and I'll saran wrap, flash freeze it, let it freeze in this saran wrap, and then pull it out of the saran wrap, then put it in the sealer
Does
bags.
that just retain the moisture?
It keeps the shape, keeps the moisture intact, so when I seal it doesn't squeeze it and try to push it all out
Okay.
over into my sealer. So I typically try to do that just because it's cleaner. And I eat 95% of the fish that I get raw.
Mm.
So
Well, that stuff you can.
Yeah. So anything I catch in the ocean, 95% of it is going to eat raw. We did get some mahi, and you can eat it raw, but I don't really have a preference to eat that raw. So that got into cubes, and it'll become ceviche, fish tacos.
I was just about
like
to ask you, how much ceviche have you made?
I haven't made any.
Wow.
Well, no, that's a lie. That's a lie. Because I do a tuna ceviche.
Can you send me some?
It's a
Like, serious, legit question.
well, I can send you the tuna, and you have to get your just get your lemon locally and just get your avocado locally.
Mm-hmm.
But I do nothing with the tuna. Just chop the tuna up. Just take a chunk of tuna, chop it into cubes, and then you just onion and cilantro if you like cilantro.
Oh yeah.
Chop it up, mix it in there, put the lemon in it, and then it sits for a half an hour max.
It just cooks with the lemon.
Because it'll start cooking, and within about 2 hours, it'll go from pink to just white. And I like to just get it just when the outside of the skin just starts to get a little white.
Mm-hmm.
That's the perfect time to eat it. You want to have the inside of it completely raw, and it's quick and easy. That's probably way easier than poke.
Mm.
And that's the other way I typically have it here.
See, and the tuna would fall in line with my diet right now, because since August 1st I started to diet. Currently down about 13 pounds.
Nice.
Started hitting the gym again, and oh my god, the first leg day, it sucked. I was walking out of the gym so wobbly. And I get home and I have to walk upstairs. I'm like, why did I pick a house with stairs?
Yeah. So, yeah, no, definitely, it's really good that way. That's, like I said, that's kind of mostly what we do with it. Although my daughter had a birthday, she turned 22 on Monday, and we had her boyfriend's family out, some friends, and my sister and her family out. Monday, just we had more people coming than I thought, so I was like, "Screw it, we'll pull some piece of tuna out." Mm-hmm. We'll pull some piece of tuna out, thinking I was going to sear it and have just tuna steaks. Mm-hmm. Nope, everyone wanted it just raw, so I just was slicing it and just making wasabi and ponzu with sriracha and fresh wasabi, and just total just sashimi dip just right off the plate.
Now I'm hungry. That sounds so good.
So yeah, I'll have to get a care package sent to you.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I appreciate that.
Cool.
But since we've been gone, one thing that happened that kind of bummed me out was Pee Wee Herman died.
Yeah, that one's kind of an odd one for me. Just growing up, seeing so many things with him. Mm-hmm. Even, I mean, yeah, Pee Wee. Everyone knows him as Pee Wee, but being my age, being a growing up with Cheech and
Cheech and
Chong,
Chong.
he was the hamburger man.
If
So
anyone has never seen the old Paul Rubens, this is before he was actually Pee Wee Herman.
yeah, when he was Paul Rubens.
Go and watch. It was not Up in Smoke. It was it Still Dreaming?
Nice Dreams. Nice Dreams. And there was a few of them he was in, and there was small roles to even a little more prominent areas where he had roles in.
Yeah, he
with
played an innkeep at a hotel.
Yeah, that's where they got the paging Mr. Herman, paging Mr. Herman. So a lot of the keys that came from Pee-wee's Big Adventure were like just old crap that I remember from way back when.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, Up and Down Turmoil. I mean, his jacking off in a freaking nudie movie.
I mean, who hasn't done that? Come on. The only difference now is we do it at home. But he did get caught up in, I think it was his manager that was caught up in a child porn ring, and they arrested him, eventually dropping the charges. But that was an unfortunate incident for him, I thought. It kind of smeared his name a little bit. And I don't think he really got a fair chance to clear his name.
Yeah. So it was kind of an odd ending. But I was reading something about how he got pigeonholed into this Pee-wee character, and he tried to break from it. He just couldn't after. And I think that's probably where the life kind of went downhill, and we didn't see him anymore. He didn't try to do anything else. He was stuck being Pee-wee.
Yeah. But fast forward, it was almost 15, 20 years, and we see him in Blow. Just he can't feel his face. I don't know if people would recognized him from that or not. But Paul Rubens was in Blow. He was in the scene where they're testing the quality of the cocaine, and then he finally asked, "Mind if I test it?" And I'm like, "Sure." And he does a line of coke, and he's just like, I can't feel my face. That must have been some good shit.
It must have been.
Not saying that I've ever done it, but I would have done it. If someone told me I can't feel my face, hell yeah.
It's so good you're not gonna feel your face. I'm like, oh, okay. All right, send it over here. Send that over here. Ship it over.
Yeah, it's I think it was my sister's birthday when she was, this had to have been 90 or 89-ish, 88, 89, I think. My mom had a friend that was a Pee Wee Herman impersonator and hired him to perform at my sister's maybe third birthday party or some shit like that. And he scared the living shit out of all the little kids. Total opposite reaction that they were intending.
Well, that's typical. That's what you get when you hire a clown at a kid's birthday party.
Yeah.
Or even a character. The kids all scream.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, go to Disneyland and like the mom's trying to pull the kid to go see Mickey Mouse. Kid's like, nah, it's just a giant fucking rat. And I don't want to deal with that.
God. Those were the days, man. I mean, I would say my best memories are of childhood. We're probably from, I think the farthest I can go back is maybe 5 years oldish, around there, maybe 5-ish, through, I would say 10, 11 years old. Once I got to around teenager years, a lot of things stopped being fun, like Halloween. My mom stopped letting me go out for Halloween and trick-or-treating. It was kind of her rule. You know, you're a teenager now. You're not a kid anymore. That's what kids do. And then going outside and playing at that age is not really a thing because you're a teenager and you don't want to be associated with riding bikes down the street with your friends anymore because that's not what teenagers do. So it's kind of a weird turning point at that age.
Yeah, it's weird because that's change now. Like there's like groups of teenagers sitting at the park riding the bikes and skateboarders now at the skate park.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we didn't have skate parks back then. You wanted to ride a skateboard. and like the library or something. You got kicked out of the library parking lot because you can't skate there.
Yeah, or the hills of Monterey Park and going down and hitting a rock and flying off and skinning your elbows and your knees and your chin. I don't know who did that, but someone did.
And my brother, I think he was around 9 years old, 8 years old. He jumps on my skateboard and he tries to do a trick and he falls up flat on his face and breaks his nose. And it was on the street. And
yeah,
the neighbor comes out and instead of helping him, gives him a Bible. I'll help you pray and get better, and gives him the Bible. And my brother's just sitting there with blood coming out, crying, like looking at the Bible, like, do I use the paper from the Bible to clear the
paper
blood?
the Bible?
It was a weird situation. I mean, I think they had good intentions, but just, they should have done something else. I guess I could have done something else too to help him, but I was laughing too much.
You're too busy laughing. Dumbass.
He was kind of a dumbass. He would do almost anything I told him to at that time. My dad was building a second addition to our house, and he raised the garage roof level about another 3 feet. I forget why. I think there was a kite on the roof that got stuck, and I got the ladder out, told my brother to go up and get it, and he got up on the roof. As soon as he got on the roof, I took the ladder away. And he was crying that I didn't, I should put it back so we can get down. I told him, just jump. And he's like, no, it's too far. And I'm like, just jump. So I turn my back and I start walking away. All of a sudden I hear thud. And he's on the ground, crying.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. I was kind of an asshole back then. It wasn't until the later years that I was a better brother. I introduced him to pot when he was 13.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's way better.
I didn't know anyone was home, so I'm in the backyard smoking pot, and my brother walks into the backyard. Ooh, what are you doing? I'm telling. I'm like, no, come here. Let me show you this.
You can't tell if you're involved.
Yeah. So he took a hit and started choking. He went back inside. I finished the joint, and when I went back inside, he was on the couch just with his eyes almost shut, eating a bowl of cereal. I was like, yeah, you're stoned.
Been there, done that. The good old days. Yeah, playing the street. I think probably my last day playing the street. We used to do baseball on the street. So kids on my block used to do baseball on the street, and it was had about 4 weeks before I started high school, and we were playing in we lived in a cul-de-sac, and we were down playing in the cul-de-sac. I was out there. My mom gave me like 2 hours of play before I had to come home and do chores, and rounding second, I heard a snap. Oh, no. Rounded the bases, scored, and went and just like laid on the freaking grass on the sidewalk, like in pain. And then 5 minutes later, she's yelling down the street, "Get your ass home!" So I hobble home, and then she's like, "Get your chores done." And back then, my chore was washing the dishes, so I was like, I hurt my foot, whatever. She said, "No, you're not getting out of this shit. Get up there and freaking get the damn dishes done." So I was standing there. I couldn't do it. So I brought a chair and I put my foot on the chair behind me. And she comes in about 15 minutes later. She's like, "What are you doing?" And I go, "I don't know, my foot." And my foot was all swollen like this big. I had broken the bone and torn a tendon on the second toe in. Just twisted and just snapped that. So I didn't finish the dishes. We had to go to the ER.
Let him soak.
After she got my shoe off, because I hadn't taken off my shoe, and my foot was all swollen in my shoe, so we had to get my shoes off so I could get my foot out of the shoe. and then probably wash my dirty feet because teenagers stinky dirty feet.
Yeah.
You couldn't let me go to ER with a smelly foot. So it was casted up, and I spent first 5 months or 4 months of my freshman year on crutches.
Do kids still
lugging
play in
around
the
a
street?
freaking-
Do you know, like in your neighborhood?
In my neighborhood, I don't have a lot of kids here. There's some kids, but there's not really playing the street. Kids in my neighborhood all have bikes or dirt bikes or these little 4-wheel scooters and stuff like that. But I'm trying to think. No, but we also have parks on every corner out here. So
Yeah,
there's a lot more of that.
There was not many parks in our neighborhood.
Yeah, you didn't have a park at the corner. So in our neighborhood, we don't because we're in a smaller community and we don't have a lot of amenities here. Everyone has just their property. But where we used to live, basically what they do is they set up the areas in between houses is like the watershed area. So it dips down and it holds water in case it rains. We get a monsoon. That's the water retention. But they make them parks. So there's soccer fields, baseball fields, and playgrounds and stuff in all these areas. And then it floods, and then I don't know, water drips, leaves out, and I guess it's supposed to be clean. I don't know. So, but yeah, we have parks and little grass areas and places like almost every other block out here in some of the neighborhoods. So there's more kids that are in the grass areas playing.
The neighborhood that I grew up in, there was also a cul-de-sac, and there was a family of brothers that lived in that cul-de-sac, and they were huge baseball fans. And we did the same thing. We used their dead end to play baseball or street ball. And one of the brothers had a brilliant idea one year to just get some paint and paint base pads on the street. Because before that, we were using just pizza boxes or cardboard or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
And it was so much better until it rained.
Then it got slick.
It got super slick. We on the opposite block, that was the football block. So we would go to the cul-de-sac to play baseball, and then the other block we would go and play football in the street. And there was this one kid, he was a cousin of one of the kids on the block, and he was always there, always there. And he was just, I think he was half retarded because he was just always mental. There was this one time where he went for a pass to try to catch a pass, and he dove for it and ended up
in the street.
Yeah, in the street. Ended up diving under a car to get it. And the guy was just like, I got it. And he's all scratched up and everything else. Well, come to find out, about 7 years later, when we got a little bit older, this was around high school time. Like I said, he was kind of crazy, maybe half retarded. But the story goes, it was dinner time. His mom puts out a big old plate of tacos in the center of the table. His dad was late from work, so everyone's eating tacos. Dad gets home, grabs a couple of tacos, puts them on his plate, quickly eats them because he's obviously hungry. My friend, this guy, his name was Fernie. He goes to grab the last two tacos, and his dad's like, those are mine. He's like, no, I'm hungry. Those are mine. So the dad, I guess he had like either hit his hand or something like that and grabbed the tacos, put them on his plate. This kid grabs a fork that was on the table, lunges over the table, and puts it right in his dad's chest.
Jeez.
Yeah. So that was the last I ever heard of him.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to get a boot surgically extracted from your ass.
Well, no, I think he went to juvie for that. And of course, if you go into the juvie system, you're already going to be fucked. You're going to be, initiated into gangs or that lifestyle. So I think what happened was he did, get into that gang lifestyle while being in jail or whatever it was, and just kept getting in trouble. And he's probably still in there or dead, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Just strange how that works.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
we had a kid on our block that was kind of the same thing. We played, and then one day he wasn't allowed to come out anymore, and his family was all gang members, and he's got to the point where not you can't do that anymore. If that's your family, that's not who you can hang out with.
Mhm.
And I never really hung out with him again. I mean, we'd see each other, and I'd get a little "what's up" here and there, but he wasn't allowed to talk to me, and we weren't part of the same cut there, and I don't know where he's at now.
the weird thing about growing up in those neighborhoods is you're almost, well, I don't know about you, but I was almost intrigued by it. I was curious, but not enough to the point where I wanted to really hang out with all those guys until I got a little bit older. I started seeing the kind of money they were making from selling drugs. I saw the women that they were with and the girls, and that's the part that piqued my interest the most. So, against my parents' wishes, I started to hang out with them a little bit more, and then I got friendly with these guys in the neighborhood. One gang, I started getting friendly with the other gang that was the rival with some of those guys, and then it became a conflict. Fast forward a couple of years, I started to learn how to DJ. I'm DJing here and there, everywhere. I get invited to this gang's party to DJ their party, and at the time there was, probably still is, a big gang called 18th Street. So at the time there was a football player named Armani Toomer that played for University of Michigan. His number was 18, and I was wearing his jersey at this gang's party. It wasn't 18th Street's party. It was this other gang's party. So they're like, you need to take that off right now. I was like, the fuck? I ain't taking this off. They're like, no, you're going to take it off. Guy shows me his gun. I was like, okay, I'll take it off. I DJ the party, start to pack away all my stuff towards the end of it. And this guy comes out and is like, hey, I know you've been hanging out with these guys for a while and we want you in the gang. They're basically courting me. So I knew if I was to get in a gang, my dad would kill me, literally kill me. It was something that he knew that it was not a good situation. So I told these guys, I'm like, listen, I'll hang out with you, I'll DJ your parties and all that, but I'm not going to join any gangs. Well, they drugged me out of my car or my truck, and they just jumped me. And 2 minutes later, they stopped, and I was fucked up. And they let me up, and they said, all right, pick your gang name. I was like, no, I told you I didn't want to fucking be in the gang. And so one of the guys was like, we're going to jump you out. And I thought in my head, well, if I'm going to fucking get fucked up again, I'm taking someone with me. So I just started swinging at whoever was the closest to me. And they jumped me out right then and there, too. The following day was Thanksgiving. So I go to Thanksgiving dinner with the family. My face was all fucked up.
All beat up.
And my grandmother, of course, she sees me. Ay, mijo, what happened with your face? And I don't remember exactly what I told her, but it was a lie. I couldn't tell them that I was jumped into a gang and jumped out in the same night, you know? They would have freaked out. So actually, now that I'm telling the story, it's the first time I've told the story out loud. My mom's going to hear this and probably be like, what the fuck? She doesn't know. So it'll be fun to see if she calls me after this one.
You're gonna call next week. What the?
But that was pretty much my introduction to the hardcore lifestyle. About a year later, I had a party at my house, and the neighborhood that I was in, I invited that gang over just because I was friends with them. They show up, party's going great and everything. Cops come to break it up. And one of the guys, I guess, was chased by the same cops that were there to break it up earlier in the day. So he tried to disguise himself and took his shirt off and he threw it on my roof. And he was like, I'm going to come back for you. The cops, they know me. Well, after they all left, one of my other friends from the other gang came over. And I was on the roof and I went to get the shirt and it came back off the roof. And he's like, whose shirt is that? And I told him. He was like, fuck that guy. And he took his knife out and started shredding it. Well, the guy comes the next day for his shirt, and I'm like, here it is, but I didn't do this. It was, someone else. He was like, fuck that. I'm going to come back for you. So the letter did come back for me, and he did a drive-by at my house.
Dang.
Yeah. That's when I was like, all right, you know what?
Yeah,
This is just
complete separate those ties.
Yeah. So I think that was the last time I really ever hung out with those guys. I found a set of new friends that, well, I didn't find a new set of new friends. I already had this set of friends that I just started to hang out with them more than the other guys.
Yeah. Just get away.
Yeah.
Just get away. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
I can't say, I mean, my parents kind of pushed me away from that. And when I started high school, I started in a Don Bosco.
Mm.
So I started in a Catholic school, and none of that's allowed there. So that was kind of how my parents.
There's 2 Don Boscos, right?
There. There's a St. John Bosco in Bellflower, and Don Bosco Tech in Rosemead.
Okay,
St. Gabriel.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, and I went to Don Bosco Tech.
So your parents and my parents probably had the same philosophy, because they didn't want me to be in a gang, and yours didn't want you to be in a gang. So I think our parents had the idea that you're second generation, and they want to see you succeed, and that's why they put you in that school. Because I did the same thing. They put me into a private school also after they noticed some of the shit that I was getting into.
Yeah, and it was just it was. I don't know if I would have ever really got there. I was more of a sports kid. I always wanted to play, but then when I got to high school, I missed my freshman year. You miss your freshman year of baseball, and you're kind of done. Yeah. I tried sophomore year. I just didn't have it to compete with the kids that were way bigger than me at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have had to really push hard on my freshman year to show them that I could continue through. But since I couldn't play the season start or even get into season tryouts or anything like that because I broke my foot, it was just kind of out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so they tried to do everything with me, put me in band. I'm like, how am I going to carry a freaking drum or a giant instrument in a marching band if I have crutches still? Like, this is the dumbest shit in the world. So finally, they just put me in a bookstore. I'm like, here, sit here at a freaking lunch period. They didn't know what to do with me at lunch period. I'm like, here, try this. I'm like, all
so you shot craps in the library?
No, I wasn't much of a gambler back then.
That's what I did.
No. I don't think I got into much my problem stuff, heavier problem stuff until I got to Sure.
Oh, you went to Sure High School? So I thought you went to Montebello for some reason.
No, I went to Sure. I went to Sure for my senior year.
Oh.
So Bosco is a 5-year. You get 3 years high school, and then you go an extra 2 years, and you come out of there with an AAS degree.
Right.
Starting my 3rd year, I couldn't stand the people I was at school with. I couldn't stand what was happening with the we're going to say the Bible side of the institution. Mm-hmm. I didn't like any of that, and just didn't really want to be there. All my friends that I grew up with were all at Sure or Mark Keppel. But we had just, I think, middle of my junior year, we moved to the other side of Monterey Park, to the house on the off the 60, like almost directly across the street from the Quiet Canyon.
Okay.
Like I can from our garage, I can look over the wall and see the Quiet.
What high school is right there? There's a high school right there. I forget. Is that Sure?
Sure is right there.
Okay.
Yeah, Sure is right there up on the hill.
Yeah. That's where they have a lot of car shows.
At Sure now?
At least they used to. They used to have a lot of car shows there.
I don't remember we having car shows there.
In like the mid 90s ish.
Probably. I don't remember. I probably lived down there. I don't think I ever went down there. But yeah, and I had this smart idea that was done there. So I told my parents I didn't want to be there, and they were like, whatever, finish your damn school, get your homework done, and do whatever. So me and my brilliance flunked out of Bosco and just failed. I failed. You just failed a class, and they invite you not to come back.
Yeah. My stepbrother at the time was in a similar situation with the learning and all that stuff with the Bible. He went to Notre Dame, a high school. You remember that one?
Mm-hmm.
He was a soccer player, and they had a really good soccer program. And I think that's the reason why he stuck it out, is because he was pretty good at soccer. So I think he just leveraged that to just have a good education, and then kind of just ignored the religious aspect of it.
Yeah, I didn't grow up religious, but they were pushing me hard to do my communion, do my what is it when you
Catechism,
and do your
confirmation.
Confirmation. Yeah, when you give your life to the
Spirit,
to the book. I didn't want to do any of that. And it was like the point where you can't go on if you don't get this done. I'm like, well, I guess I'm not getting it done. And my parents didn't grow up like that. I mean, maybe they went to church here and there, but at home before that, we never went to church. Mm-hmm. My sister went to Catholic elementary school at the same time I was at Catholic high school, so we'd always have to go between church at Bosco or church over there, and I was just, I saw through the BS, and I didn't want to be there.
Yeah. So, funny story is I got kicked out of catechism. That I was not invited back. A nun had, trying to discipline me, and she got in my face, and I was making fun of her bad breath. So she had tried to hit me with the ruler, and I grabbed the ruler from her, and I told her, "Don't fucking hit me." So she's like, "What?" Called my mom. My mom comes to pick me up. My mom's like, "You're not welcome back there anymore."
Okay.
So I was like, good. She was trying to hit me with the ruler. What the hell is that about? So, yeah, that was my experience with the Catholicism. How do you say it?
Catholicism. Yeah. Catholicism. Yeah, like the Catholic Church.
Yeah. And then in junior high, my dad put me into a Christian school. And just like you, that's when I started to learn that it's not all that it really should be. And it's more of, the way I saw it was more of a guide on how to live your life, not really, it shouldn't, well, at least for me, it was a guide to how to live your life morally. And I didn't take it as this is the spirit that I should be following and dedicating my life to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I see the value in some of it, but the rest of it is just like, what? Why? And so, I mean, it's definitely something that that I can see that I continue to live with some of the values that were instilled, but the religion, the ceremonial part of it, I can just live without.
Yeah. Back in the day. Oh, speaking of back in the day, did you hear about this guy that just came out saying that he had sex with Barack Obama?
The what?
Yeah, Tucker Carlson just interviewed this guy and said he's got time, place, and date that Barack Obama and him had gay sex.
Okay. So
you haven't heard about this yet?
No.
Oh man,
no.
I was hoping you would, so you could fill me in on it. No. I just knew the headline.
I hadn't heard anything about this, but I've also been nursing whatever this is and working my ass off trying to play some catch up after some fishing trips, and then we did camping trips. So we've had a few days where I've had shorter weeks trying to get summer done with my daughter started her senior year, so trying to get all the summer stuff done before she started her senior year, and then last summer she's home really.
Mm-hmm.
Is starting next summer. At the end of next summer, she'll be moving into college.
God, that's crazy. I remember her just making these little videos.
Yeah,
and she was so small.
Yep. Now she's 17. Drives her Jeep around every day, and she's a ducker, and I'm like, no, that's all crap. Get out of here. But she's 17, so I'm like, okay, I guess it's okay if you're a 17-year-old girl. I guess if you're a 35-year-old man, that's really not okay.
Yeah, totally. Has she picked a college yet?
I think she wants to go to NAU.
NAU?
NAU. It's in Flagstaff.
Okay.
Northern Arizona University.
Is that an engineering school?
They have all kinds of stuff, but they have a good chemical engineering program that she wants to go into.
Nice. Make some drugs, some pharmaceutical stuff, and become a wealthy pharmacologist, whatever you call it.
Something like that. Yeah. So up there, their big thing is a lot of their funding is from Gore-Tex. So a lot of outdoorsy type equipment manufacturers and stuff like that do a lot of help with the research on that side. So it's not really drug related chemical research. It's a lot of other materials based.
I love Gore-Tex. My hunting stuff is full of Gore-Tex.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they have a giant research facility up there. I'm not sure how much manufacturing they do up there, but they have a number of locations up there that do a lot of research and testing and all up in that area. So it's the perfect location for it. There's snow; it gets a little warmer, so you have all the seasons that you hit up there.
And it's close to you, somewhat.
Yeah, it's about 3 hours. Yeah. It's about 3 hours away.
Yeah, that's the best part. She can come home. Thing. For like the holidays or weekends.
It's easy to come home. Although Kim would love her to go to ASU's to be only an hour away. She's like, then we can go have dinner with her. I'm like, she needs to go to college. But she's also the kid that I'm going to worry about because I can't pay this kid to even have a taste of a beer. We went to Miami, and my older daughter got a little inebriated and loud and obnoxious, and she just was like, she's so fucking annoying. I can't, when I go to college, if my roommates are like this, I'm gonna die. So like, either that's gonna change when she goes to college, or she's gonna be hating it and want to come home every weekend. Like, fuck.
I mean, that's not a horrible thing that she's
no, it's not. No, I'm not knocking her or anything like that. It's just so funny that she's ready to college and she's like not ready for college at that point.
Yeah.
And you know what's gonna happen. All these kids are finally free from being at home, and there's alcohol and other substances that are available to them. So that's where you get all the failures happening the first year or two of kids getting involved with things and being done.
Yeah, it's like the Amish kids going to Raumschlinger and finding themselves for that period of time, and they either come back or they don't.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see what happens. I have a feeling she's gonna figure it out. She has one of her best friends that she's grown up with. She's grown up like with her since like a 5th or 6th grade. They've been best friends, and they don't go to the same school now, but they text all the time. They're like still besties, even though they don't see each other all the time. These birthdays and long weekends and stuff like that. They're always hanging out. So she already got accepted at NAU, so she's like, oh, we'll see if we can get roommate with her, because she knows she's studious. She's not going to be the crazy party girl that's going to keep her up all freaking week and day.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
So we'll see what happens here, but to get there.
Yeah. So as you can see, I finally got my office done.
Office looks good together. Yeah.
This painting here, that one, I bought that in 2010, believe it or not, and it was rolled in a canvas in a tube, and I finally got it framed. It is
Nice.
It was a series of paintings called "When Art Imitates Life," and the painting is actually it's a depiction of Washington crossing the Delaware, but all the characters are members of the Wu-Tang Clan.
Nice.
And the red hands that's what that is.
Yeah, the Wu.
Yeah, and then it's got the autograph by the RZA.
Nice.
Yeah. 13 years I've been holding on to that, waiting for the day I bought a house.
When you get it. Nice.
So that's my pride and joy right there, just because I'm a humongous Wu-Tang fan. Like, I can recite damn near every album and lyric for every song. It's a little ridiculous, but
gotta have your thing.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think about it. They came out in '92. In '92, I was a freshman in high school. When you're a freshman in high school and a DJ, those things kind of just, I don't know. It's a little bit of nostalgia, but it's also history, because this particular group is one of the best. They're one of the best rap groups that has ever been out. And they also revolutionized the way artists sign their contracts these days. Or at least at the time they did. Because they had their group contract, and then they had individual contracts with their own record companies that they wanted. Mm-hmm. So
and they grouped, and then they individual.
Mm-hmm.
And it was great. Like you'd have a Wu-Tang album, and you have a Method come out.
Yep.
And RZA, ODB, and you get kind of all the pieces just kind of popped, and they could go do their own thing without infringing on the idea of aspect of the group,
right?
Which most other groups that happen, and it's like, oh, the band's separated, and it's like, no, this is just the way we do it, and made it a little better for that to happen. So definitely, I'm a fan, not a huge super fan, but definitely a Wu fan.
I think my top 3 rap groups, 1, obviously Wu-Tang, 2 is going to surprise people. And I strongly believe the second best rap group out there in history is Outkast.
Okay.
Number 3, NWA. Outkast changed the way Southern rap was thought about. They brought lyricism. They brought a different kind of sound. The Dudgeon family was their not literal family, but just a tight-knit group of guys that just made really good music. Mm-hmm. They evolved every time they came out with a new record, and each evolution of their albums, it didn't deteriorate their sound. Usually you hear people evolve their sound and it just gets bad.
Yeah.
But I think with them, it evolved and got better. And eventually they came out with the Speaker Box and Love Below, which blew my fucking mind that they had individual albums, but they were combined into one album. That was crazy to me.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stuff that happens that people don't even realize. Like, oh, it's just that shitty rap music. But there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that goes into that changes how everything works. I mean, you may not like the sound, you may not like the lyrics, you may not like anything about it, but the engineering has always been incredible. Mm-hmm. The way that they sample, the way that they go about writing and even managing groups and single artists out of different groups is just it changed a lot of things.
Yeah. Yep.
And you have if you think of like back in the day, like Kiss was Kiss. And then when they decided they weren't going to do it, then you get a Gene Simmons album. Then you get a Paul Stanley album. You kind of get the pieces what happened after that when they were kind of done or they kind of went on a break. It wasn't like there was a Kiss album and and a Gene Simmons album to release the same month away from each other. That just never happened.
That happened with the Eagles too. Glenn Frey broke off and started doing some solos.
Yeah, I mean they've gone through members of the year, and then they go out and they do stuff, but it's usually because there's either a break in the band or a breakup or something like that, where these guys piece off or separate and they go their own way and they fill in a new guy, or the guy leaves and comes back or something like that is typically what happens with most group artists.
The one that's tripping me out lately is the resurgence of Journey and their frontman.
They can't do that.
Can't do that. He's a small Asian guy that just sounds insane. You don't like it?
Do that. No, can't do that.
Are we just going to skip over Journey right now?
You just can't do that. Can't do that.
Is it because it's yacht rock?
I mean, at the time, Journey was good, and it's not one of those groups that I would turn off. It's just not one of those groups I would turn on. So that's kind of my. There's the ones that I will have a station on my my streaming. I'm back and forth between Pandora and Spotify. I haven't really figured out Spotify enough, so I keep going back to Pandora. And then Pandora pisses me off, and I go back to Spotify, and I'm going to try to figure it out again. And I'm just not happy with either one of them. So I think I'm back on Pandora right now. So I have like the groups that I know that I want to have a station of, and I have those stations of those that I want to. And then the classic rock station I have is more of a compilation, a Bob Seger station. But if Journey comes on a Bob Seger station, I won't turn it off. But I'm not going to have a Journey station.
Yeah. What do you think?
So it's one of those.
Excuse me. What do you think about the music of Jimmy Buffett? He just died, and everyone, it seems like lately, came out of the woodwork as a Jimmy Buffett fan, and I had no idea so many people were Jimmy Buffett fans because they've never talked about him.
It's one of those things. It's not the music that you listen to when you're out at a party. It's not something you listen to. And to me, it's like it'll be on. I'll have the Margaritaville channel on if I'm hanging out, just chilling by the pool.
How can there be a Margaritaville channel when he only had one good song?
He didn't have one good song.
It was the Pina Colada song, right?
I don't know. There's definitely more than that. It's one of those things like Grateful Dead or Fish. Fish is another one that has a great following. People love them. A huge following. I have some friends that whenever they're out here, they're going to go like 3 shows in a row, and they just city to city to city, following them for like a week.
But the shows are amazing. I mean, they're fantastic musicians.
I'm not denying any of that. It's just
it's not your cup of tea, right?
I've tried, and like my buddy Greg, he's always like, yeah, you listen to Fish, and he'll post something, and every post anything to Fish, I always try to listen to it, and then I try to get into it. It just doesn't grab me.
Their cover songs are probably my favorite, just because I'm with you. Like their original stuff, it's cool, but it's not for me. But when they get into the cover songs that I recognize the most, that are my favorites, and they do that, it's really cool because they put their own spin on it, because they're basically genius musicians.
And there's no hiding the talent. Just again, it's that sound that it doesn't get anywhere with me.
Mm-hmm.
So, not saying this is good or bad. It's just one of those. I mean, it's not Taylor Swift, which is just garbage.
It's insufferable. It's like Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
Like, how many times can we hear that Christmas song from Mariah Carey every year? I think it just needs to be retired already.
Well, they just showed it. Like, it was September 1st or something, or they released it September 1st or something, and by like the 3rd or 4th, it had already been played like 3 million times.
That's crazy. No, what's really crazy, and you're talking about 3 million, Oliver Anthony, this guy that came out with the song Richmond, North of Richmond. Not a fantastic musician, but his voice, you can tell that there's a lot of emotion in his voice. And I think that is what resonates with so many people. His guitar skills aren't obviously phenomenal. His writing seems to be really good. But it's his delivery, in my opinion, that is setting him apart. It's just a unique. He's got a unique voice in that way. I think. The first time I heard that song, I think I played it 3 times in a row.
I still haven't heard it.
Really?
Yeah. I heard a little clip of it. I'm like, eh.
It's this generation's political song, that's for sure.
Yeah. Just didn't catch me.
Mm-hmm. He's got other songs too that are good, but it's the same. It's the same delivery. It's just him, his guitar, and he's singing about stuff that he cares about that strike a chord with a lot of people.
Yeah. He's probably the right genre for me. I just not doing anything for me.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I need to go back and try again.
I wish him well. I think a success story like his is well deserved and is needed right now too. There's a lot of people that are just down on themselves and need a pick me up in some ways, and I think someone like this, it's coming out of nowhere. A lot of people can relate to it.
Yeah, no, 100%. I just it's doing what it needs to be doing. He's getting the traction. He's getting what he needs out of it. Hopefully, I wish him success. Just like I said, I just listened to it and just wasn't for me.
Yeah, I did make a post on Facebook because I am questioning what his actual motivation is. If his first song was about not having enough money or other people having too much money, and there was a rumor that he turned down a Super Bowl appearance for X amount of dollars, millions of dollars, which turned out to be false. But what's not false is him turning down record deals that were very lucrative. And obviously he's getting a lot of money from just being number one on Apple's charts. And he's probably got other streams like on Spotify that he's number one. And he's getting some money from there. But again, he's living on his own land in West Virginia. And he's living in a trailer, or was at least. And if his main gripe was not having enough money, then why not take that money? Is there what moral obligation does he have to himself, if any, to take it for his family? It's just I try to look into it. Maybe I'm looking into it too much. Like I said, I want to see him do well because I like him, and it was just frustrating for me to hear that he's turning down these deals that can set him up for the future and his family.
Yeah. I'm sure he'll figure out the money side of it, but it's the same thing. Like, I mean, Eminem talked about being poor white trash for how long and kept on albums even though he was making millions of dollars. He was still able to sing those songs and people still related because that's where he came from. So maybe that's the push on him. Mm-hmm. Even after he makes the money, he can still write about it because this is where I came from. Where I'm from. Yeah. It's the where I'm from now, not where I'm at anymore.
And part of me thinks that it's kind of his thing that he needs to not have that money so he can write about these things. Just a guess.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah. But back to my office really quick. This thing here. I have a racing simulator in my
you're a
office.
gamer.
It's a full-on steering wheel. Can you see it?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I am addicted. I am fully addicted to simulating races, whatever you call it. It's so much fun. There's 2 different games that I played. One is F1 2023, and it's just the typical type thing. You could build a career and all that. But this particular year that they released, I thought it was kind of cool because you could take baby steps on how to actually drive a race simulator like a professional. So you start off with everything just being automatic shift. It helps you brake, it helps you turn, it helps you figure out what the racing line is, and then as you get along in the game, it starts to take the training wheels off. Next thing you know, you're shifting yourself. Next thing you know, you're braking by yourself. Next thing you know, they're taking away the line that shows you what the racing line is, and you have to figure out where to brake, or you're going to go into the corner too hot, that sort of thing. And that's where I'm at right now. I'm at that point where I've figured out how to drive the thing like it's an actual car without any help.
Nice.
And that's crossed over to another game that is very popular. And that game is actually a little bit more difficult because it's using GT style cars, and it takes the variables of the weight of the car, the braking of the car, the actual acceleration of the car. So
it's more dynamic to the vehicle.
Yeah, and there's more people on it too that are more serious in that gaming. I've never been a gamer. I mean, I had Nintendo when I was a kid, but my mom didn't like me doing kid shit when I was 13 years old. So a lot of the game stuff went away when I was a teenager. So I didn't really have a lot of gameplay from 13 years old till like last year. I never had a gaming console or anything like that.
Yeah, same with me. Never even growing up, there was never one in our house. When I left, I think my brother and sister got stuff, and they played. I know my brother's a big gamer, but I've never been a gamer. I know that there's 4 or 5 different game consoles in this house, and I've never played most of them. I think there's even a VR game that they just got for Christmas that I think they've played a couple times. I played it once and I was like, no, not for me. See you later.
I heard a lot of people have issues with the VR sets because it causes vertigo.
No vertigo. It just doesn't interest me. One of those things, just whatever. But like the race games, Travis has been installing these into some pretty well-known racers' houses. He's in North Carolina, and there's a lot of racers out there. So he's put some of these systems in houses, and he's sent us pictures of some of these setups. I'm like, holy shit! It's like $20,000 setup, like almost like 360. Yeah. So you have you have a side window, front window, all the way. You're like in a cockpit, wrapped around the chair. Your chair vibrates and does all that stuff like that. All the motion stuff happens.
The really cool ones are built on a hydraulic system, so you can you can feel the turns, and you can almost feel the G-force. You can feel the braking. But I mean, again, those are like stupid expensive.
Yeah. I think those are the ones that he was installing for some of these guys.
I'm gonna have to get him out.
That's what they do. Give him a call.
Yeah. I sent him a picture of that one, and he was like, "Cool."
He's all nice toy.
Yeah. Let me know when you grow up.
Wait, when you want a real toy, call me.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, it's fun. My kids love the gaming. Actually, I built this desktop computer. I always had a laptop because I've traveled for work. So the past, I don't know, 12 years, I hadn't had a desktop.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've always had a laptop. And then lately, I haven't been happy with the laptop connected to monitors and stuff like that. So when I started the business, I was like, I'm going to build a really nice desktop.
Mm-hmm.
So started researching. Travis and I went back and forth on new stuff. I hadn't built a computer in 20 years. So I went through and got all the components and built it. And now my daughter and her boyfriend are big gamers and be like, on my desk, I'm like, why is all my shit moved around? They're in here freaking gaming tonight.
What game do they play?
There's like new icons on my screen. I'm like, what is this game thing on my freaking computer? What the hell?
Are they into that Diablo? Is that what it is?
I don't know. Good question.
My neighbor is a gamer, and him and his wife actually. And
Diablo.
I think that's one that they're talking about the most. Diablo and was it Call of Duty? I think.
I don't see it here. I don't know what. Well, maybe it's under games. Yeah, I have no idea. Maybe they just play. Oh, it's. They play through EA. It's the EA.
Oh, okay. I remember just playing solitaire
online
on my computer, and that was like the extent of my gaming at one point. Just playing solitaire, or what was that other one? Minecraft, not Minecraft. The one where the little bombs, you have to pick the little squares, and then you pick the wrong one, and a little bomb comes up. What was that one called?
Oh, shit! It's not Minecraft, but I know it. I know it's. Maybe it was called Minecraft. I don't know.
I don't remember. No, Minecraft is like the new 8-bit looking type thing. I think. I don't know. I might be too old to talk about this shit.
I think it's one of the games that my other kid plays. I think they both played that one, and then Roblox or something like that. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I never played any of these games.
I think sometimes my wife wonders what the hell I'm doing upstairs while she's downstairs, and she's hearing. I think she would rather have me play this game rather than like a Call of Duty or something like that.
Just killing people all day and all night.
Yeah. Because she's also into F1. She's into racing also. She's the one that got me into F1. Because she works for a company, auto insurance company. I won't say, but they insure vintage cars, rare cars, race cars, and they used to have events before COVID, and they would have watch parties of the F1 races. And these F1 races are a lot of them are in Europe or Japan or China, different places. So they would start very early in the morning, sometimes 6 a.m, and she would be at these events and set up the event for this watch party. And she finally said, what? I think you would like this. You should check it out. And I saw a race. I was like, this is cool. And then the next year, Netflix released a show called Drive to Survive. And it was the kind of a behind the scenes thing of the racing season, and they had a lot of the drivers in it, interviews, the race teams, and everything else. So between my wife and that show, I really got into it.
Here you are,
and here I am
in your room playing with yourself.
Hold on a second. Are we going back to Pee Wee Herman? So one of these days I'll have to put a camera over my shoulder and do some screen captures and
some race film.
Yeah, and post it online, show it to people. But yeah, that's my office, and of course my camera gear back here with my lenses and the wall over there. It's pictures of all the different friends that I've met wheeling, and I got pictures up here. You're in one of them, actually. Will Perriman, our buddy Jeremy Pierrick. Yeah, just a lot of memories that I've had from our past 10 years of going out and doing shit.
Nice.
So I think
Yeah, I don't have a lot of decorations other than this toys and shit above my head and these shelves.
I'm pretty much
there's,
done
like,
decorating my office though.
I think all this stuff has to go because I don't even pay attention to baseball and hockey anymore. There's more cars and a Nacho Libre mask. Yeah, I got a few things in here that need to be updated of the toys. But
Nice. Well, what do you think? We should wrap it up here.
yeah, we can wrap it up.
Okay.
Yeah, we gotta schedule this. Maybe try to do another one quickly so we can get Ryan and Sean on here.
Yeah.
I still want to do I mean, I've talked about some of the fishing here and there, but I'd really like to get those guys on to do like a kind of what their feel for was what we did out there, and just get a closing on the event. It's been a while since we've been back, and I still haven't found the words to really put everything out there on myself. I keep trying and I keep writing stuff, and I go, nope, close it and delete it, and this isn't really how I feel about this yet. So it's just it has to mean everything, what I say about this trip, because it was just an incredible adventure. Just everything about the trip, from getting set up to going out there. I mean, we started just on the dock and the guys already started just talking and congregating and having a good time. And by the time we got in the boat, everyone was already like talking and getting to know each other. And then the fishing started, and it just got way better. And it just, there's so much to go over with that. I just need to figure out how to bring it out of here and here into something around here.
I can't wait to hear the stories.
So yeah, so we'll definitely have to do that. So get ready, guys. We're coming for you.
All right, y'all. Thanks for listening, and
Cool.
we'll be back soon.
All right. Thanks, everyone.